Prince William and King Charles have been thrown into turmoil after Princess Anne revealed a confidential message from the late Queen. The message, which contains details about Princess Kate, has left the public speculating about the future of the line of succession.
Things she doesn't often talk about: losing both her parents within the span of 18 months, the upcoming coronation, the future of the monarchy, and Canada.
Join us as we uncover the details of this unexpected revelation. The quiet rise of Princess Catherine. Princess Catherine has become increasingly popular in the royal family in recent years due to her grace, presence, and connection with the public. This has made her a favorite globally, not just in the United Kingdom. However, her growing influence has caused concern within the palace walls, where whispers of change echo through the ancient corridors. It's a chilly evening in London, June 2025, and Buckingham Palace is cloaked in silence. No cameras flash, no aides bustle. Princess Anne, the Queen's most trusted confidant, has requested a private meeting in a dimly lit room, its heavy oak doors closed to the world. Only King Charles and Prince William are summoned, their faces taut with anticipation. Anne stands by a polished table, her expression unreadable, holding a sealed envelope bearing the late Queen Elizabeth II's crest. The air is thick with the weight of secrets about to be unveiled. The letter, written in the Queen's meticulous hand, promises to shift the monarchy's future, and its focus is not on the king or his heir, but on Catherine, the Princess of Wales. The room feels smaller as the truth begins to unfold, a truth that could redefine the royal family forever. The envelope lies on the table, its wax seal broken, revealing pages of creamy paper inscribed with the Queen's elegant script. King Charles, his hands trembling slightly, lifts the letter, his eyes scanning the words. Prince William, standing beside him, leans closer, his breath catching. The Queen's message is not about tradition, titles, or the rigid line of succession. It speaks of strength, heart, and a vision for the monarchy's future. And it names Catherine. The words are deliberate, each sentence a testament to Elizabeth's belief in her daughter-in-law's ability to lead with compassion. The room is silent save for the faint ticking of a grandfather clock, each second amplifying the tension. Charles's voice breaks the stillness, soft and uncertain. This is unexpected. William, his hands resting heavily on the table, stares at the letter, his jaw tight. The Queen's words don't mention them, the king and the heir, but elevate Catherine as a beacon of hope. The paintings of past monarchs on the walls seem to watch, their eyes bearing witness to a moment that could alter the monarchy's path. Anne, standing by the window, says nothing, her role as messenger fulfilled. The letter's weight is not just in its words, but in what it implies. A shift in focus, a challenge to the expected order. Across the palace, Catherine sits alone in a quiet corner of Kensington, unaware of the storm brewing in the meeting room. Her tea, untouched, cools in a delicate cup as she gazes out at the London dusk, a faint unease stirring within her. She's never sought the spotlight, never craved power or titles, yet her quiet strength has defined her. Through her 2024 cancer diagnosis, she remained poised, sharing only what was necessary, her dignity unbroken. She comforted her children, George, Charlotte, and Louis, while facing her own fears, always steady, always present. Her public appearances, whether at hospitals or schools, radiate warmth, a hand on a child's shoulder, a listening ear for a grieving parent. This is what Queen Elizabeth saw, a woman who leads not with ambition, but with heart. Catherine's resilience, her ability to remain calm under scrutiny, mirrors the late Queen's own fortitude during crises like World War II. As the children sleep upstairs, Catherine senses a shift, though she cannot name it. The Queen's letter, unknown to her, has already begun to reshape her destiny, casting her as the monarchy's future in a way she never imagined. The letter, though it doesn't alter the legal succession, George, Charlotte, Louis, Harry, carries a deeper, more personal directive. Queen Elizabeth, in her final years, saw a world changing faster than the monarchy could keep pace. Younger generations questioned its relevance. Commonwealth nations debated their ties. She believed Catherine could bridge that gap, not as a ruler but as an inspiration. The Queen waited for the right moment, entrusting Anne to deliver this message only when Charles and William were ready to hear it. Anne, her mother's steadfast ally, chose this night in June 2025, believing the time had come. The letter praises Catherine's ability to connect, her quiet leadership through actions, not titles. It's not a command, but a wish, a vision for a monarchy that thrives on heart, not just hierarchy. Anne steps back after placing the letter, her voice firm. It's time. The world has changed. No one argues, no one celebrates. The room holds its breath, the Queen's words lingering like a prophecy. Catherine, the letter suggests, is not just a consort, but a force to carry the crown forward. King Charles, now 76, feels the letter's words like a personal wound. Crowned in 2022 after a lifetime as heir, he's faced relentless challenges: a slimmed-down monarchy, public skepticism, and his 2024 cancer diagnosis. The palace confirmed his illness after a prostate procedure, and though he continued duties, his thinner frame and weary eyes betray the toll. He's worked to modernize, to make the monarchy leaner, but critics argue it feels distant. The Queen's letter, focusing on Catherine, stings, a suggestion that his reign, so long awaited, might not be the monarchy's salvation. He doesn't shout or argue, his slumped shoulders and quiet murmur, "This is unexpected," speak volumes. Charles has spent decades rebuilding his image, once tarnished by personal scandals, only to find Catherine's effortless popularity overshadowing his efforts. The crown, once a symbol of destiny, now feels like a burden he carries alone. He glances at Anne, seeking her steady presence, but even she cannot soften the letter's impact. Charles faces a truth he hadn't anticipated. His mother's trust lies elsewhere. Prince William, at 42, stands at a crossroads. Groomed for the throne since childhood, every speech, every duty has been a step toward kingship. Yet the Queen's letter unsettles him. It doesn't strip his title, George remains his heir, but it elevates Catherine in a way that challenges his role. He's seen her navigate crowds with ease, her smile disarming even the harshest critics. Her 2024 cancer battle, faced with grace, only deepened public love. William, reserved and cautious, struggles to match her warmth. The letter suggests Catherine could share his spotlight, perhaps outshine him. He loves her, trusts her, but the idea of her as the monarchy's heart feels like a quiet erosion of his destiny. He remains silent, his hands clenched, staring at the letter. Memories of his mother, Diana, flash through his mind. Her charisma, her struggles. William knows Catherine's strength, but the Queen's words force him to confront a future where his role might be less singular than he imagined. The following morning, June 12, 2025, a private meeting convenes in Buckingham Palace's stateroom. No press, no fanfare, just senior royals and trusted advisors. Princess Anne arrives first, her demeanor calm but resolute, carrying the letter in a plain folder. Charles enters next, his face etched with exhaustion, the weight of his illness and the letter's implications clear. William, last, is somber, his thoughts guarded. Anne opens the folder and reads the Queen's words aloud, her voice steady. Each sentence lands heavier than the last. Catherine is not a supporter, but a leader, chosen by Elizabeth to inspire. The room falls silent, some attendees puzzled, others uneasy. The succession remains unchanged, but the Queen's vision is clear. Catherine embodies the monarchy's future. No one claps, no one debates. The advisors exchange glances, sensing a shift. Anne steps aside, letting the letter speak for itself. The palace, steeped in tradition, feels the stirrings of change, and Catherine's name echoes as its catalyst. Catherine's ascent in public affection is no accident. Over the years, her grace and relatability have made her a global favorite. Her 2020 Hold Still photography project, capturing lockdown stories, resonated deeply, earning praise on X for its humanity. Her Royal Foundation Centre for Early Childhood, launched after a 2020 UK survey, champions early years development, showing her commitment to lasting impact. At events, her interactions, kneeling to speak with children, consoling families, steal the spotlight. Posts on X compare her to Diana for her warmth, to Elizabeth for her duty. Her 2024 cancer diagnosis, handled with quiet dignity, only deepened public admiration. She's not just the Princess of Wales. She's a symbol of resilience, a mother who balances royal duties with school runs. Her clothing, modest yet stylish, sparks trends, but it's her genuine connection that captivates. Catherine doesn't seek this adoration, yet it grows, shifting focus from the traditional royal hierarchy. At Charles's first reception as king in 2022, Catherine's presence dominated. Mingling with dignitaries, her warm smile and elegant navy dress drew every camera. The next day's headlines barely mentioned Charles's speech on Commonwealth unity. Instead, they gushed over Catherine's poise and charm. "The People's Princess returns," one tabloid declared, echoing Diana's legacy. Charles, who spent decades rebuilding his image after years of public scrutiny, felt the sting. His efforts to modernize, slimming the monarchy, championing sustainability, were overshadowed by Catherine's effortless appeal. At a 2023 garden party, her conversation with a young cancer survivor went viral on X, while Charles's remarks on climate change faded into the background. He doesn't resent her, but the shift gnaws at him. The public, hungry for hope, sees Catherine as the monarchy's heart, leaving Charles to wonder if his reign will ever match her light. A 2024 military event was meant to highlight William's leadership. As Colonel-in-Chief, he delivered a speech on veteran support, but the crowd's energy shifted when Catherine appeared at his side. Cheers erupted, hands reached out with flowers, children waved signs for Princess Kate. William smiled, ever gracious, but the focus was hers. The next day, media coverage centered on her interactions, hugging a young girl, accepting a handmade card, not his address. X posts buzzed with her name, her forest green coat trending online. These moments, small but cumulative, paint a picture. Catherine is no longer just the future king's wife. She's a star in her own right, her presence eclipsing William's carefully prepared role. He feels the weight of expectation, knowing the public loves her in a way they don't yet love him. The letter only amplifies this truth, stirring unease about his future reign. Queen Elizabeth and Catherine shared a bond forged in quiet moments. Over afternoon teas at Kensington Palace, the Queen offered guidance, sharing stories of duty and resilience. Catherine listened, absorbing lessons from a monarch who'd weathered wars and scandals. In 2019, Elizabeth awarded her the Dame Grand Cross of the Royal Victorian Order, a rare honor for her service. Their shared love of photography, Elizabeth with her childhood Brownie camera, Catherine with her Hold Still project, deepened their connection. Both valued modesty, wearing elegant yet understated clothing, and both saw family as their anchor. The Queen admired Catherine's ability to connect with people, from school children to veterans, in a way that echoed her own wartime broadcasts. These teas weren't just formalities. They were moments of trust, where Elizabeth saw in Catherine a reflection of her own values and a hope for the monarchy's future. Elizabeth and Catherine, across generations, became beacons of resilience. During World War II, Elizabeth's radio speeches rallied a nation under siege, her steady voice a lifeline. Catherine, during the pandemic, mirrored this strength. Her Heads Together campaign, launched with William and Harry in 2016, broke mental health stigma, encouraging open conversations. Her 2020 survey on early childhood development led to the Royal Foundation Center, supporting families nationwide. X posts from 2020-2024 praise her empathy, with users sharing stories of her hospital visits or school talks. Like Elizabeth, she balances duty with relatability, appearing at ease whether with world leaders or single mothers. Both women lived modestly, Elizabeth in her early married years, Catherine in her Bucklebury upbringing, grounding their public roles in humility. Their shared commitment to service, evident in Catherine's 2024 cancer journey, makes them symbols of hope in turbulent times. Born January 9, 1982, in Reading, Catherine Elizabeth Middleton grew up far from royal pomp. Her parents, Michael, a flight dispatcher, and Carol, a flight attendant, built Party Pieces, a party supply business, from their Berkshire home. Its success funded top schools for Catherine, Pippa, and James. Her ancestors mixed coal miners with distant aristocratic ties, shaping her grounded yet poised nature. At age 2, she moved to Amman, Jordan, for her father's British Airways job, attending an English nursery and absorbing a new culture. Back in England by 1986, she thrived at St. Andrew's School, quiet but reliable. Her mother's entrepreneurial grit taught her perseverance, while her Bucklebury village life instilled simplicity. These roots, hard work, family, adaptability, prepared her for a role she never anticipated, grounding her as she stepped into royal life. Catherine's path to royalty was no fairy tale, it was earned. At Marlborough College, she captained the field hockey team and earned the Gold Duke of Edinburgh Award, showing leadership and grit. A gap year in Florence and Chile, where she built homes and sailed as a deckhand, broadened her horizons. At St. Andrews University, she studied art history, waitressing to cover expenses. There, she met William, first as friends in 2001, then as partners. Their 2007 breakup, fueled by media pressure, tested her, but she emerged stronger, reconciling in 2008. Their 2010 engagement in Kenya and 2011 Westminster Abbey wedding, watched by millions, made her the Duchess of Cambridge. She embraced causes, mental health, early childhood, staying true to her values, her journey a testament to resilience and authenticity. Princess Anne, the monarchy's workhorse, and Catherine, its rising star, share a quiet alliance. Anne, 74, has long toiled in the shadows, logging hundreds of engagements yearly with no fuss. She watched Catherine enter the royal fold in 2011, initially reserved but growing to admire her. Catherine's careful approach, her focus on mental health, her steady presence at events, mirrors Anne's no-nonsense dedication. They share a love for tradition and country, understanding the monarchy's role as a steady presence, not a celebrity spectacle. Anne sees in Catherine a kindred spirit. Both dress modestly, speak thoughtfully, and prioritize duty over fame. Their bond, rarely public, is built on mutual respect. Anne, a mentor, offers silent approval, guiding Catherine through royal pressures with a nod or a shared glance. Their connection, a quiet strength. In February 2024, Buckingham Palace announced Charles's cancer diagnosis, discovered during a prostate procedure. The news stunned the public, with ex-posts expressing support but noting his frail appearance. At 76, he continued duties, garden parties, state visits, but his thinner frame and quieter demeanor betrayed the strain. By mid-2025, he scaled back, his speeches shorter, his presence less commanding. Anne, William, and Catherine took on more, with Catherine's hospital visits and youth engagements drawing praise. Charles leaned on Anne's unwavering support, her tireless work a lifeline. The crown, once his lifelong goal, now feels like a weight he can't fully bear. His illness, kept private in its details, forces the royals to adapt, with Catherine's prominence growing as Charles's energy wanes, amplifying the letter's significance. William, the future king, carries a heavy mantle. At 42, he's dedicated but guarded, shaped by Diana's tragic life and public scrutiny. His need for privacy, protecting George, Charlotte, and Louis, clashes with a king's need for visibility. Unlike Catherine, who shines in crowds, William appears reserved, his speeches measured, lacking her warmth. He resists change, favoring tradition, while the public craves a modern, empathetic monarchy. Ex-posts note his caution, contrasting it with Catherine's adaptability. His trust issues, rooted in media betrayals, make him wary, limiting public connection. Catherine balances openness and discretion, sharing enough to build trust. In crises, William withdraws. Catherine steps forward, her composure a contrast to his reticence. These struggles, subtle but real, make the Queen's focus on her a poignant challenge to his future reign. Catherine's work defines her. Her Royal Foundation Center for Early Childhood, born from a 2020 survey, champions the first 5 years, collaborating with scientists and parents.